Welcome to the Coachella Valley Music Show. I'm Valerie Kattz, and this is our Opera-Broadway edition. Our first guest is world-renowned pianist and music director, Victoria Kirsch. We'll also be talking with baritone David Castillo. And last but not least, LA opera singer and actress Jamie Chamberlin. Jamie can really belt it out. This girl can go from opera to Broadway without missing a beat.
Was very natural to me because growing up my mom was an opera singer. By the time I came along, she had stopped doing it professionally, but there was always a lot of classical music in our house, and she still sang and did community theater and civic light opera. So I had a lot of exposure to classical singing growing up. I didn't actually think that I wanted to be an opera singer. I wanted to sing musical theater. That was my passion, that was my first love, and I started off as almost like a mezzo-soprano, which is a middle-voiced singer, a belter. So I would sing in the musical theater style and I would belt. And it wasn't until I got to college at UCLA that I discovered, as a voice major, I kind of just finagled my way into the department as a classical voice major, not really knowing what I was doing. But my teacher, Juliana Gondek, saw potential in me. And we discovered that I had a lot of high notes, I had a lot of upper extension in my voice. And then after a year or two, we discovered that I had a lot of facility in my voice, so I was able to do a lot of very fast-moving passages that we call coloratura in opera. I was able to do a lot of really difficult music, and that's sort of how I got my start. I was sort of known as somebody who could sing a lot of difficult music and also provide the acting that went along with it. I would say that it's a tie because there's benefits and challenges to each. And what I've actually started doing in the past couple of years is when I give a recital, I program basically half classical music and half American musical theater or American standards like George Gershwin and Cole Porter. And I'm able to flip back and forth, which a lot of singers don't do very easily, but for some reason I can do it. I mean, I do have to watch myself, I do have to be careful. What I've noticed was that when I started classical training, I thought maybe I would lose my musical theater belt voice, but I didn't. I actually improved my musical theater technique because I had a very solid classical technique underneath it, and it really helped to support my musical theater singing in a way that a lot of musical theater singers don't do nowadays. There's a lot of relying on the head mics that everyone wears. I can still sing a musical theater song without a mic. And that's a really great quality to have, because on any recital I can basically program any music that I want within a wide range of pitches and notes and moods and feelings, and I have a lot of fun programming my recitals.
When you perform and you see all the people go absolutely ballistically nuts after you hit one of those long, powerful notes of yours, how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, any performer would be lying if they didn't say they didn't like to be appreciated by their audience. So I feel very appreciative that people enjoy hearing sort of this. It's a virtuosic talent. Singing opera is very virtuosic. It's like being sort of an elite athlete. It takes that amount of training. It takes that amount of protecting your body and protecting your voice on a daily basis. It takes a lot of discipline. And so that is our reward as musicians, to get the accolades from our audience. But I don't think that we do it for that. We do it because I do it because it's the easiest way for me to get in touch with all the emotions that I felt in my life, and to reflect upon my own life and my own state of being. It's part of being an artist. You're constantly reflecting, and certain music has a way of kind of bringing out certain emotions, and that's what I love the most about being a musician. I'm really able to tap into all the different emotions that have come my way throughout life.
I remember when we talked a while back at a different show, and I mentioned to you how effortlessly that you do up there. You're really, it's effortless what you do. And your response to me was, yeah, it somewhat is now, but there was a lot of hard work that went into it. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the hard work that you had to go through to get where you got?
Okay. Because opera wasn't something that came naturally to me, I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I got a late start. I didn't start singing opera till I was about 21. I started out as actually a theater major at UCSD. I spent 2 years there straight out of high school, and And then I took a year off, and my family was really upset. They all thought I wasn't going to go back to school. And I said, you know, I really feel like I need to be in LA. I feel like I want to get into UCLA. So I devised a plan to get into UCLA as a music voice major, and miraculously I did, like I was saying before. And thus began sort of my transformation into a classical singer. I would say that the 3 remaining years of my undergraduate that I did at UCLA really formed the basis of who I am as an artist, and it culminated in my senior recital, which was probably one of the most memorable moments of my life. My family is really supportive. I have a Greek family, and I grew up with a big Greek community at the St. Barbara's Greek Orthodox Church, and my family actually rented a bus, and everyone came from Santa Barbara on a bus to see my senior recital, and that was literally one of the greatest nights of my life. But the work was done in the practice rooms, in the rehearsal studio, in the voice studio. Doing my first operatic role, you learn so much when you actually get on stage, and you learn an entire role, and you learn things in a different language, and the more that you do it, the more that you get out there as a professional, the easier it gets. So when people say things like, oh, it seems so easy, it seems so effortless, well, I've been doing it professionally for 13 years now, and it's gotten a lot easier, it's gotten a lot more effortless, but it still requires all the discipline that no one sees behind the scene. I rested all night last night. I didn't go out. I didn't have a glass of wine. I stayed home and I rested because I knew I had a big gig today and that I needed to get my rest. And that's part of the commitment to my craft and to my colleagues, and to the people that hire me, which I'm so grateful for. It's one thing to be a performer, but it's another thing to be hired to be a performer. That's really the blessing in all of it, is to actually be able to be hired on a regular basis is amazing. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and I look forward to being in the Coachella Valley many times in the future. Bye.
Hi there, David Ross here for Opera Arts. It's that time again, the 5th annual Festival of Opera and Art at Civic Center Amphitheater at Civic Center Park. Free concert. Bring your lawn chairs and umbrellas. 33-piece orchestra and opera at its finest. Food and drinks available. Face painting for the kids. Sunday, March 23rd, 10:45 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Get there early as this will be huge. 760-323-8353 for more information.
Castillo. I am a classically trained baritone, but I love singing whatever someone wants me to sing. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, but now I'm based out of Los Angeles. I'm singing as part of a production of Los Angeles Opera, and their production of Britain's Billy Budd. Other places I've sung at New Orleans Opera, I've sung at Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra, I've sung with the Claremont Orchestra over there. And
what was it like singing with Jamie Chamberlin tonight?
Oh, singing with Jamie is a lot of fun. It's always fun to be on stage with someone who wants to be on stage and who wants to make the stage come alive for the audience. I think it's our job to have a great time on the stage so that everyone in the audience could have a great time themselves, could feel at ease and have fun. And because we're all here to come out to any show. If I go to a show, if someone comes to a show that I'm doing, we're all here to have a good time and to enjoy the time going to at the show.
So if you ever want to find out when your favorite bands, like the ones that you've seen here on the Coachella Valley Music Show, are playing, check out our sponsors, CV Weekly. They have a weekly fabulous magazine that's distributed throughout the Coachella Valley. You can find it in your favorite stores, and you can also find them online at CoachellaValleyWeekly.com.
Hi, I'm Victoria Kirsch. I am the music director of Opera Arts.
So could you tell me how you got started in music?
My father was a studio violist when he was a teenager, and I grew up surrounded by music and chamber music and people dancing. When I was 3 years old, I started with Eurythmics, which is where you learn about music through movement. I did it, my brother and my sister both did it, and all three of us ended up as dancers. My sister and brother they were professional dancers. And I started piano lessons at 5 years old and have been playing pretty much ever since. I think when I was a teenager, I learned about singers and started working with singers. And all through college and then through graduate school, I worked with opera singers and musical theater singers. And I just love working with the human voice, with people who are, I like to call them my stage animals, people who make very interesting theater, just getting up there and playing with each other, and I love playing for them.
What made you get into playing piano with these singers all over the world?
I think just opportunities have presented themselves. One of the things that I say about myself is that I listen for a living, and singers need to feel as though they're being listened to and as though there is somebody at the piano who's supporting them and giving them at once the freedom to do to sing the way they want to sing, and at the same time give them a very steady and firm support so they feel that they're not out there alone. And I've developed the love for that, and I've always had the love for that, and I've developed the skills that you need to do that. So hopefully our admiration is mutual.
As you know, tonight you played with Jamie Chamberlin. What are your feelings on Jamie Chamberlin?
Jamie is one of my favorite stage animals. It doesn't matter what I ask her to sing or what she asks me to play for her. We always find a way to the essence of the music. She always surprises me with her interest in bringing whatever piece she's got to life. We just finished a very challenging recording project, and she came through with flying colors with very, very difficult music, and she supported me in the music that I had to play. We just have a really good time together.
All right, Victoria. Tell me what advice you would have for any young pianists or singers coming into the music today.
Keep your ears and eyes open. Take every opportunity you can to learn and grow and to discover new music, to discover the joys of working with other people, because this is a collaborative work, and do all the work you can do to make yourself prepared to work well with other people. It means developing your own technique, but developing your own sense of listening and collaboration more than anything else. Just be willing to use the skills that you have to make friends with other musicians and to work well with them.
Good, that'll work.
And as always, a big thank you to our sponsors, CV Weekly, Vargas Arts for all of your video needs, Margarita's Restaurant in Palm Springs where we shoot our show, and Kattz Social Media Solutions, and of course, Opera Arts.